I'd like to call the February 12th regular meeting of the City of Webster Groves Board of Adjustment to order. Tom, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Conrad Hebron.
Present.
Randy Sprague.
Present.
Jennifer Gates.
Present.
Deb Salzberg.
Here.
And Tom Walsh is here.
Thank you. We have one petition this evening. And the order of presentation tonight will be that the city staff will present testimony regarding the facts of the request. The applicant will have the opportunity to present their request to the board and answer questions, followed by anyone who's in favor of the opposition of the application. Then we'll ask for anyone opposed to the application. And the board will close the public session and open it for board discussion. The board may ask questions of anyone who speaks. The proceedings are recorded. Please speak clearly and one at a time. We will vote on the application tonight for a decision. Approval will take 4 out of 5 board members' approval. Please try not to be repetitive or redundant in your comments. Tom, would you please read the powers relative to the requested variance?
Yes, when by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific piece of property as of September 20th, 1956, or by reason of exceptional topographical conditions or other extraordinary or exceptional situation or condition of a specific piece of property, which condition is not generally prevalent in the neighborhood, the strict application of the area regulations of this zoning code would result in peculiar and exceptional practical difficulties to or exceptional and undue hardships upon the owner of such property. The board is hereby empowered to authorize, upon an appeal relating to such property, a variation from such strict application so as to relieve such difficulties or hardships.
Thank you.
Could I note, just for the record, so that the board has heard this petition previously. There was notice to the city that there may have been a deficiency in notice to a neighbor. We obviously want to make sure that anybody and everybody who wishes to have a public voice heard at these hearings is given such an opportunity. And so we are making this we're bringing this specific petition back through to make sure that everybody is given that voice. You've heard testimony, you've heard evidence before. I will put it to the board if you'd like to hear what will be duplicative evidence and testimony, which we can certainly do to make a clean record. But I'm going to ask that record be made, that the record for this hearing include what occurred at our previous hearing.
November 6th.
Yes.
Conrad wasn't here last time, though.
I understand that, and that's sometimes the nature of these things.
And it's listed in November 7th. That's also an error.
Maybe it was November 7th. Whatever the.
No, there's an error.
We did vote.
We did.
Yes, we did.
We did.
Yes, this was granted, but the affected neighbor was not in attendance. Okay. Does the city have a case?
Well, I want to.
Okay. I think we should at least hear,
Wonderful. We can do it.
do the.
Okay. So I would ask that the exhibits, if you have exhibits that
They're all throughout the packet that everybody has.
they're not listed with exhibit stickers, but I would include everything that's been presented to you as part of the packet, which would be the application itself and the associated attached documents, all the way through to the notice of the publication, record of publication. And then any PowerPoint presentation, which is presented as well. I would also ask that the previous hearing on November 7th also be made part of that record.
Okay.
With that, we would call Dr. Wagner as a witness.
Please, Dr. Wagner, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Would you state your name for the record?
John Wagner.
Do you work for the city of Webster Groves?
I do, yes.
What's your position?
Director of Planning and Development.
And what is your role in that position?
I am over the department-wide functions of planning and zoning, building inspections, and code enforcement.
through your work, are you familiar with 849 Atalanta Avenue?
I am indeed.
Is that property located within city limits?
Yes.
Do you know the zoning district in which that property is located?
A4, I believe.
And are you familiar with the application docket number 2435?
Yes.
What's the request in docket number 2435?
The request is to have a side yard setback for a house addition. There's an existing part of the house on the western side that bumps out. There's a bump out that's going to be proposed to be 1.68 feet from the property line, and there's an existing bump out on the existing house that's already 1.68 feet from the property line that would mirror this.
And can you, I know you just answered the next question, but could you in more detail describe the current condition of the property?
Current condition of the property, it is a legal non-conforming because it was built a number of years ago. We can ask the architect the exact date. But there's an existing house that has a bump out, a chimney like thing that sticks out to within 1.68 feet of the property.
And what's the setback for in that zoning district?
I believe it's 5 feet, I believe.
So it's currently non-conforming in that it protrudes 3.32 feet into the
Correct.
setback. And the request is to mirror that setback for an addition.
Correct. And I have a visual here. There it is. Yes, the existing house here has that bump out there, and the addition will have an identical bump out right there.
So what is the setback for the majority of that exterior wall?
What's the setback for the majority of the wall?
Yes.
3.2 feet, I believe.
It goes down to 6 inches at one point.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
At 3.2 feet at that point, and then 1.68 feet from where the bump out's going to be. Pull that up a little bit. Yeah.
So the majority of the wall, the request is for it to be 3.2 feet from the property line.
Correct.
With those bump outs at 1.6.
Yes, this where the cursor is now, that little portion right there is 1.68 feet. And they were proposing a similar bump out right there. The remainder of it is 3.2 feet.
And do you know what the purpose of the existing bump out is?
I do not know.
Do you know-
The architect will have be able to answer that. In other words, I don't know what's on the inside of that. I don't know.
Do you know what the purpose of the proposed bump out is?
I do not know that. Michael Blaze, the architect, is here, can answer those questions.
Do you have anything further to add?
I don't know.
Does anyone, any board members have any questions for Mr. Wagner?
I don't think so.
Petitioner's representative here,
Would be
Mr.
Michael
Blaze.
Blaze.
Blaze. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much.
We're here before, let me answer a couple questions that were
Please,
just
Jeff.
asked. So the original bump out is a portion of the dining room, it's a little bay, box bay, bump out of the dining room. So it just, typically it was added more for character on the elevations, at least that's why we do it now. The new bump out will be for a fireplace and the chimney. And that is on a new, basically family room with master suite above. It's kind of, this is very common addition that we typically do, usually doing kitchens, family rooms with master suites above, we've probably done hundreds of. But it's usually what these older homes are lacking. The home was built circa 1920. We don't have an exact date, but it was built before the ordinance. We are basing our variance request on the hardship that's number one, we have a narrow lot, 50 feet. And the location of the existing home on the lot. The existing home is closer than is currently allowed to the property line. We've done this a number of times before. We'd like to keep the character of the house, line up everything, so that it looks good from the outside and flows well from the inside. Right now, there's an existing kitchen that we're keeping, and our addition is a family room off the back that opens up that kitchen. There is, and this came up in the last meeting, there is a side yard on the other side of the house, on the eastern side of the house, that has a little less than 20 feet. By ordinance and by code, we're required to have at least, and this was enforced in the past. We're required to have one parking space behind the front face of the house. That would be fine, not the porch, but the front face. The minimum 12 feet wide, 24 feet deep. That is there now. If we were to keep that space and tried to do an addition on that space, we would only be allowed to build 8 feet. Actually less than 8 feet, because it's just less than 20 feet on that side.
The house was built in 1920, by the way,
Yes.
according to county records.
So that's the reason that rather than put the addition on the east side of the house, because then you'd be before us for a variance for the one parking space behind the building line.
We would, and frankly, the addition does not function well with the layout of the house if we were to build to the side. The existing plans, or the way the house is laid out now, that kitchen and dining room are on the back, and we're opening it up directly to it, or it just flows much better from the existing spaces to the back. And we're lining up with what's there now, so we're not getting any closer to the property line than we are right now.
Does any other board members have any questions for Mr. Blaze?
Yeah, I do. So behind this addition now, there's also, bear with me, please, a frame porch that's being added as well.
Yes,
And that frame porch is 1 story, I assume. And that also is too close to the sideline
Mhm.
as per.
yes, it is.
Okay, so this more than just the family room and the chimney that we're talking about now. We're talking also about a deck that extends into that area.
Yes,
But the frame porch is not 1.68 feet from
No.
the property line, it's the 3 point.
3 point.
only the chimney is 1.68.
Right, but the new frame porch is 1.68.
No, only this little bump out is 1.68. The frame porch is 3 point.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I am
3.2.
3.2. I understand. I'm sorry. I was confused. Thank you. That's what I was struggling. I couldn't figure out where I was.
And the chimney is the closest,
Gotcha.
just, and it bumps out very similar.
And mirrors the bay
Correct.
window piece that is already existing.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And
Any
the
other-
porch, well, the reason we extended that porch that way was, I don't know if you have copies of the renderings,
Hmm.
but what we did is we extended the wall into that triangular space of that porch roof.
Yeah.
To just, again, just a clean line.
So one of these,
Does
Mike?
that make sense? Yes,
Yeah, it's back. You're back in here.
Oh, there.
both at top and bottom. And the one,
Yeah.
the chimney circle
Oh,
is,
here it is, right here.
Yeah, no, it's the other way. Isn't it? No, no, that's correct. It's back here, right here.
And then here's the view from the north.
That's this. Right. And that's the other view. Yep. Okay,
Even without the bump out there, you'd still be here asking for a variance because it'd be 3.2 feet
right.
for it. And can I ask, because I can see it on the map and I can see it on the county lot records, but the houses in that area are all kind of right on top of the property lines. The house that's to the east, so the opposite side than this, what we're talking about here. But you know how close that house is to that property line?
I do not often, I don't think we have. I don't have it on our survey.
I can speak to that during my time.
But I'd be guessing.
Probably right here, it's pretty close.
Not far from the property line.
Pretty close.
These aren't exact, those aren't exact, but it's
Right.
yeah, pretty close.
Any other questions for Mr. Blaze? Thank you.
Really before.
Oh, sure. Are
Did
you,
you receive the rendering?
I don't believe so.
I'm not sure I've seen
I
that.
don't think I have.
This is the rendering, and this is showing the west side with the fence, although the fence is much more private. It's more of a solid fence, but I'll go ahead and if you want to enter that, I think it's very helpful to see. That's with computers now on my staff, we really encourage
Yeah,
tonight.
so you're looking down the driveway.
AI.
And there's that.
I wish it was that easy.
Do we have Ben to thank for that?
I got it.
Do we have Ben to thank for that?
Yes.
This is actually very.
Can I ask one more question while you're up there? So I know that the renderings have been created, and the proposals have been sent. I think the proposal for the chimney is 6 feet in width, right?
I believe so.
So my only concern with the proposed variance is that the way that that's proposed is you could hypothetically, if it were granted, build the entire side of that house at 1.68 feet. Whereas the request is really for that small section to be 1.68 feet with the remainder to be allowed at 3.2 feet.
Correct.
Okay. And if that were specific language, would that be something you guys could abide by?
Absolutely. I believe, and just from my experience, I believe that we're required to stick to the drawings that we present to this board and not alter the drawing and take the whole addition that place.
It's a much simpler process than that because a variance granted is a variance granted, right? I mean, if it's 1.68 feet that's granted, then you've been granted the variance of 1.68 feet for a setback, period.
Do you want to keep that?
We can make it part of the exhibit A.
And that's news to me. I was always told that we had to abide by the drawings that we present to the board.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Blaze? Any other comments you'd like to make right now? Okay. Is there anyone,
We have someone.
well, is there
When
anyone
it comes to
in
that.
favor who would like to speak on docket 2435? You want to say?
No, I think,
Yeah.
on the Zoom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
All right. So we have someone online. All right, go ahead.
Heidi?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
I can hear you. Please raise your right hand. Do you
Right hand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Okay, my name is Heidi Gears and I live east, I think, of Andrew and Nicole. And I have lived in our house for since 2003. Long before Andrew and Nicole moved in, and I think her name is Laura on the other side of them. Let's see, Andrew and Nicole are the fourth homeowners that have lived in that at 849 since my family and I have lived on this block. And I can tell you the reason why all of the other families moved is because they ran out of room. I can also tell you that the addition that Andrew and Nicole want to put onto the house is very much in keeping with the other homes on our block and in our neighborhood. I'm going to refer to my notes here real quick, pardon me. You asked about the distance between our two houses. I would estimate it's about 12 feet, and that includes their parking spot. They don't have a garage, but they have a parking spot. Well, I'm sorry. Oh,
Do you know how far your house is off the property, your shared property line?
My guess is it's about maybe 3 feet. There's this very strange cement barrier that's buried between our 2 yards, and I guess I've always kind of thought that that was the property line, but I do have that information, but it will take me at least 20 minutes to dig it up.
That's fine. We just
okay.
I just thought maybe you would know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the other thing, I'd say 2 other points I'd like to make real quick is my husband and I attended the November meeting that we received notice of in the mail, and we had no errors on our form. So I question that. And I also want to point out that the bump out, the variance that is on Andrew and Nicole's house for their the current bump out that they have was present when my family and I moved in 2003. So both of the homeowners, Andrew and Nicole, and the woman west of them, saw it and knew it was there when they moved in. This is not a surprise and this is not new. That's pretty much all I have to say about it, but my husband and I fully support this addition.
Thank you very much. Do any of the board members have any questions for Ms. Gears? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me speak. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Mr. Ironman, do you wish to speak?
He works with that.
Yeah, but does he want to,
Oh,
does he want to speak? I know.
sorry, Debbie.
I know he works for Mike. Do you want to speak, Ben? He's muted, so I guess he doesn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
he could raise his hand if he needs to.
Okay. All right. Thank
He
you.
didn't raise his hand, so
All right. So
sorry about that.
is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor of docket 2435? Is there anyone who'd like to speak in opposition or with concern of docket 2435? Yes, please. Could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and go ahead.
My name is Laura Finney. I am the owner of 847 Atalanta Avenue. I do have some items I'd like to hand out as exhibits. The only reason is in case you need to refer back to the dates that I'm going to refer to, I want to make sure that they're available. That's why you can share. Gone through a lot of this with Mike and actually with Andrew as well, so that there's none of this information is going to be too new to them. John, can you bring up the document that you had, the exhibit where it showed both houses, the new? I know I'd like to see actually the drawing is what their new site's going to be, so that we can see that the extension that we're talking about is really going to be completely past the existing backyard. So this is going to be the backyard. So although this line here, although it doesn't, you're saying, okay, it's the same thing as it was before, it's not. It's extending now, including this, including the porch. It's not going to be an additional 27 feet back within the 3 feet. So just that's one piece I wanted to make sure that we kind of come back to as you're going to ask some more information. And I'm sorry, I'm very, very nervous. I have spent at least 60 hours on this. First trying to convince John to get me another hearing because I didn't get the notification. There's a lot of different reasons for that. That's kind of where we were. Thank you for reopening the hearing, though. I do appreciate it. And John, I appreciate the efforts. I did finally go to the city attorney and your city manager before I was actually able to get this hearing. City of Webster was actually notified no later than October the 8th. Your hearing was November the 6th, just in case you get the dates on that. October the 8th. I spoke with Elliot. I realize it's not your director is no longer with you, but his commitment to me was after they had to reschedule because the notifications did not go out correctly. His commitment, and I have it in writing, is that he was going to tell me when the next hearing was going to be. The next hearing was scheduled for November 13th. Instead, it was on the 6th. That wasn't the information that was online. And also it wasn't even approached online on the new date until 2 days before the hearing. And I didn't receive my mail till the day before.
Can I direct you just to the project? Because we are here, we're doing the hearing again.
She also just brought up that she didn't believe things.
I understand, and we're not
Sure.
going to consider that as a board.
That's-
Yeah, that's not something that the board will
Okay.
consider.
I do want to make though is that Andrew and Nicole were both notified in writing and in face-to-face as of November the 1st, again, your hearing was on the 6th, of my reasons why I disagreed with it. Under oath, we're told that know that they didn't, Nicole said she didn't know, although she had spoken to her husband. If you want to listen to the hearing, the YouTube, you can definitely. Andrew has admitted that he did tell his wife about the whole conversation we had, which was more than a half an hour inside my home. Mr. Blaze was also notified on the 3rd about my protest that I was disagreeing with it and some of the reasons why. I initially wanted to say yes to it because we've had such a contentious relationship. He's been a bully. It's been very frightening being next to him, and he's definitely taken advantage of my good nature. What I did is I had to take this to a professional, although this does not feel professional right now because it's very emotional for me. It's my home. So I took it to 4 experts. The experts I went to was a construction manager, a residential property inspector, a realtor, and also a fellow neighbor that's a few blocks down the street that has also kind of had to live with one of these variances after they rejected. After listening to them, again, trying to take it all out, the emotions out, I definitely got viewpoints that this just didn't seem to make a good sense for anybody. The lot is a standard size lot. It's not an exceptional size lot at all. We're all 50 feet. Most of the homes are not built within 3 feet, the existing variance. Although the decision was originally made during that time, for whatever reason in the 1930s, when my lovely little Craftsman house was built. I don't know why. We don't know why. One of your members of the board actually guffawed when they saw that the window well was only 6 inches away from the property line when you guys were kind of going over this during the last meeting. I don't see from the standard of exceptional and undue hardship. I can't see it. Again, I'm just missing it. I see that there's no let space. If you've got a 75-foot yard, you can put a bigger house in, but the existing lot, that's it. I don't see a unique piece on this. And also what I've heard from listening to many of your meetings is it's also based on land, not necessarily the usage on what some of the setbacks are. Now, in the document that you had just sent out, it actually says that the side setbacks in my area of any house that's built before 1956 has to be, the setback needs to be 6 feet, but no less than 5. It's actually just to kind of get that in there. So I did go through the use of the Ben Franklin method, went back and forth on that. What happens? Some of the concerns are there's no room for emergency equipment or rescue with an 18-inch on the side or the 1.5 feet. There's no space for maintenance, ladder, nor mower. And he's had some problem with maintaining his property as it is, leaving trash on the side of the house now for more than 4 months. Some things that he'd thrown out there before. Landscape, boulder, trash, foundation, tree growth, etc. There's no space also for while they're doing the actual construction, with only a 1.5 feet going up against that 6-foot fence. We already have drainage issues. He has drainage issues. I don't actually. But he has come to me numerous times and been very, very loud about it, that his basement is leaking. So what we did is he threw a bunch of barriers on my driveway. He put, you can kind of imagine these. I don't know if you guys have ever used these when you've had these. Yeah, so he put this on my driveway. So my driveway is right there, right? Yeah, so here. So you can imagine 8 of these thrown on that driveway on my side, so that when during a heavy rain, it took the rain that was coming off of his roof line from that bump out and pushed it into my yard, into my basement. I do have neighbors that can actually say that, can witness it. John has also seen those pieces when he came out to the house. There's drainage issues that he has. I will tell you that already, that when you're looking at this piece right here on the existing, is that right here, there's a river birch. And we all know what river birch is. They like lots and lots of water, don't they? So he's got a water problem back here as well, although he has not been as difficult with that and hasn't thrown any of my drainage pipes out on that one. So that when that is going to be covered up now with this new construction, you know there's a lot of water right in this particular area. Now I had a driveway that crazily enough went all the way back to that back fence. I removed that, so it has removed the impervious surface. So it is better as far as from a drainage standpoint. Let's see. Right now, he's extending his drain pipe about 25 feet to get the drainage on this side. This is the problem here where he's just dumped concrete on the corner, more of these barriers, and it's just been slippery. So what I did is I did put in a driveway, widened driveway. So one of the problems he had was with my narrow driveway was when my passengers would get out of the car, I was trespassing. We were trespassing on his property when they got out of my very, very narrow driveway. Let's see. I talked about the 6-foot barriers and then him not moving the barriers when I requested him to remove the barriers. I think really, so those are all water problems. And John and I talked about some of those. Actually, the new roof line, if you look at it, because I spoke to Andrew about this one as well. The new roof line actually, it's going to drain this way and then it goes this way. So the roof line comes back out on the east and the west, coming down that way. Does that make sense? You're looking at that. Can you see that? The new drawing. It might be better when you look at actually the not the rendering. Yeah, actually. Okay. All right. So I wanted my driveway to address this trespassing concerns next to my car. I also did something else to try to address this water problem, the perception of a water problem, is that at my own expense, I installed drainage pipes underneath the driveway when I was having it placed, and that was just placed a couple of months ago. And including in the documentation that I sent to him talking about this variance, I also asked him on 2 occasions in writing and once in person to please tell me if I could remove that if he wanted me to remove the asphalt that was between our 2 houses, because we talked about that asphalt runs up next to the house. Because then he could put in a French drain, which would have helped him with that. I also helped the mechanic and a manager, the property manager, and the project manager also came over to talk to me about that. He didn't want to have that done. Although I was going to do that at my own expense and have the drain pipes put in again at my expense. And I did give him writing in a face-to-face meeting ahead of time before the meeting was. Yeah, I thought it was the 13th. I had a meeting on the 1st with him so that he would not be blindsided because I didn't think that was reasonable to do that and what my specific concerns were. A lot more writing was involved in that, and I know you wanted me to hurry up, but I really.
You're fine.
You're fine. Please listen. So I don't see, in summary, this various request meets exceptional undue hardship. And I listened to the last 1.5 year meetings, and I don't hear it. I didn't see this. There's triangular properties. You have different ones, had different lines. I just don't see it. The fact that there's a variance previously on it, I don't see the precedent there is a good precedent because obviously it's caused a lot of problem. It's made this neighbor very unhappy.
Excuse me, what do you mean by a variance already?
I'm sorry, the variance of it being this close, that it was that
The
close.
fact that the house was built prior to the code
Right,
and
right,
does not
right,
meet the
right.
current code.
Right.
That's not a variance.
So the question I don't quite understand this, and you guys are the smart guys on this one, but if everybody else has to have 5 feet on this side and you'll go through my neighborhood, okay, we've got it, then to have this one go over 5 feet, it's got to make the clearance on the other side. It just has to. I've gone through and looked at a lot of the other construction add-ons. I've added on to my home. I added on a bathroom to that, but I knew what the requirements were. My builder knew what the requirements were. We didn't ask for anything unusual. I lived with the rules. And I'm asking you to help me with this. Please help me enforce the rules.
Mm.
Um,
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Finney?
And I know you said this and I forgot. How long you lived there?
I've lived there for a little over 4 years. I'm retired. I did not think that I would ever be able to own a home in Webster myself. I'm a single woman. I raised my boys. And I was able to get this house. It was so great. I love my house. I had a bathroom put in there. Everyone tells me I've done a nice job as far as the house, as far as add-ins, as far as good for the rest of the neighborhood. My backyard now has over 18 trees in the backyard. My backyard's very, very important to me. I wanted to make a little botanical garden back there. I know there's, only a few years before, this is gonna be my life. It's my front yard, my backyard, and my driveway, and my inside of my house. Help me, please.
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
When you moved in, you've been there 4 years. Was there always a water problem
No,
related to, no?
no.
Can I ask a question? What has changed?
Yeah, that's,
I'm your neighbor.
But,
wait,
but
you,
But how does that change the water?
yeah, my question,
I do not have a water problem.
I thought you said you,
Water problem when he puts those barriers down on the driveway on my side and it pushes the water over to my house.
I see.
That's the only time it's ever happened.
I see.
That's why I tried to convince him, I don't have the problem, although water does run downhill, and this is a hill. Slight grading.
because you led me to believe that you had a water problem, but you don't. Only if he does something on a temporary base, puts these barriers or whatever you're going to do down.
Right, but also adding this new mess on is not gonna be a great thing because I can even see the roof line on the side is gonna be coming down. He's not maintaining it now. How's he gonna get a mower back there? I'm sorry, I just don't understand why you would approve this. I just don't. If you want a 400, 800 square, whatever you want to add on to your house, you have to live within the rules. And I just don't understand the difference. So it will look different, you're right, from the front. You will not be able to see on the west-hand side, me, here. And remember, this really isn't a problem because our houses are right next to each other, right? It's not visually a problem, right?
Mhm.
Unless we have contentious relationships. It's not. This is going to be a huge visual difference, right?
Hmm.
Only reasoning I have gotten from Mr. Blaze and from Andrew regarding why it couldn't be bumped the other way. First of all, the term I heard it was awkward, and I got that from Andrew twice. You actually mentioned Mr. Blaze also awkward on the last hearing, and the talk about these parking. And I'm gonna have to, if you have to ask for a variance right now, when I kind of counted it out, his existing driveway has at least spaces for 5 cars if you kind of nose to nose. Plus, if you want any more, and you've got enough on the other side.
But the key thing here is not the driveway area. The key thing is you have to have a place for a car to park behind the building line. So the rest,
So, ma'am, I understand. I completely understand. I'm just saying a variance is gonna be needed if you wanna go that direction. Or if you want a house that's a 500 addition onto it, you're gonna have to ask for a variance if that's how big you want it. You don't wanna go further back. It's already gone back, I think 27.5 feet back. It's only gonna be a very small backyard for a family. I completely support additions to homes. I have an addition to my home. Improving your property is what we all want to do here in Webster. This isn't improving my property at all. It's actually hurting me. And there are alternatives for Mr. Home.
Heidi wants to talk again.
first, does anyone have any other questions for Ms. Finney?
So she's had her chance to speak. I think we've given her that opportunity. I think we can allow the applicants.
The applicant,
a
yes.
response if they want.
Right, okay.
We're not gonna do a back and forth.
Right. Okay, Mr. Blaze or the homeowners, would you like to rebut or answer any questions?
Yeah, I'm Andrew Houghton.
Okay, Andrew, would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
And I don't exactly even know where to begin, other than just, we want to do our addition to improve our home, have some more space. And we're trying to do a very nice one, and maintain the character of the city. And yeah, it does work best to follow the house lines and the flow of the addition, and just the functionality of it would be best that way. Just to respond to some of like the comments that were kind of just made recently here, again, the water issue, there's actually, so her previous, just real brief, because that's not like the heart of the matter, but just briefly, her previous driveway sloped down towards my house. It's an impermeable surface all the way across from her driveway, all the way to my house. It's asphalt from the old driveway, and it sloped downwards towards me. And she also had gutters that faced my house and were blasting water right at it across that impermeable surface. I asked her politely initially, I figured out what's causing damage to my house. Could you just, move your downspouts to go down the driveway or out your backyard? She did not agree to that. I had filed a complaint to the city actually, so there's probably something in file somewhere at that time. And so they came out and said, yes, Mr. Houghton, you are correct in this. It's a problem. They need to fix that. She came over to my house, complained about that. And I said, okay, I went to the
I'm just gonna
HR.
pause you really fast. I'm gonna direct the board. So because I know we've spent a lot of time on current water drainage and that sort of thing. It's not gonna be relevant to your decision. So the current drainage problem and the things that are currently ongoing are not something that this board deals with. There are other boards, there are other processes in this. If this were to be granted, then that's going to be addressed at some other point. That's
And
not
we
something for
can't
you
do
to
it
address.
Anticipated problems due to construction either.
Well, because that's not the purview of this board, right?
Isn't that taken care of with like the collection of the water?
Typically, stormwater management is its entire
Yeah.
portion of the development process and the approval process.
Right.
So I want to point that out because we spent a lot of time on
Yeah.
this, and I don't want you guys to be thinking this is something you need
And
to
that's
deal
part
with.
of Mr. Blaze will make sure that the stormwater is taken care of with the additions.
And we went to the architectural review board, and I believe they even sent me an email saying we will have to have a stormwater collection in our backyard for it. So that would be taken care of. Because after the approval, we did go to the architectural review board where they approved it and stated that as well. And they sent me an email with that. So other than, that's. Yeah, we're just constrained in our size of our lot, so I don't know, I'm happy to take questions or anything.
Miss Finney mentioned that she didn't know how you were gonna be able to maintain the west side of your house. How do you get a lawnmower? Do you go around from the back to?
No, it's all in the backyard there. We have a privacy fence that we put up, a 6 foot, don't quote me on the exact dimensions, I'll take that back, a privacy fence that is, decently high. And it's, we have access to that side of the house from the backyard very easily.
After the construction.
Excuse me.
But there will still be a space between the house. It's not what.
Right.
It's just-
Does any board members have any questions for the homeowner?
If you were to shrink it by 2 feet,
Sorry.
if you were to shrink it by 2 feet, what functions gets eliminated? Like if you were to shrink the new addition, the proposed addition to be the 5 feet instead of the 3.81, is that the right number?
3.2.
3.2. So if you were to shrink it to 1.8 feet. Do you understand what I'm asking? If the addition was
If
the
rather,
5 feet,
if rather than building the addition to line up with the existing house, if you built the addition to meet the code, what would that?
That's the major downfall.
What,
We'd be,
I'm worried that.
yeah, we'd be losing, quite a bit of space because we're gonna do a family room and then a mud room. And so then that would really condense the room and make it, that is a loss of space in terms of, our house isn't big. It's not like a huge width of a house to begin with, I'm still looking at the dimensions, they're there, but, sorry, stuttering, but, so it would be a much smaller space. It's not very large and we have to accommodate a mud room and some stairwell into the new basement as well, so.
I think I need to be recognized by.
Mr. Blaze, do you want to answer that question? And you are still under oath.
Yes. But basically my plans are right, the way things lay out in the house. To have a wall bump in like that, yeah, She's right, I use the word awkward, it's very awkward, it's awkward in design, it's awkward the way it looks, it's awkward for the flow of the house. The things just don't work well, then, you know, we live in boxes. It is nice to have clean lines in those boxes, you know. It's this is a very common variance that I've probably received numerous times. I've been before this board probably 50 times. I'd say about half of those are probably lining up with the existing house, trying to get a house that looks like it was built originally with the original, where you never see the addition. You can't tell with the old and the new.
What would happen, just,
That's right.
what would happen if you kept 5 feet on this side? And to get the space that you're lacking by doing that, you bumped out on the other side. What would that do? What would be the difficulty from your perspective of that, of doing that? You might have to get another variant. I don't know for sure if you went 2 feet out on the other side. But I mean, I assume that would do, you'd have some problems with roof. So I mean, I just asked for your reaction or response to, because that's, I think, what this lady's getting at here, Mrs. Finney.
And that is one we'd have problems with.
Had you looked at that as before you came to this conclusion?
Yes, we've looked at numerous options, including building on the side where the driveway was, and this is the best solution. I've been doing this for 30 years in Webster. And we're very proud of our designs and how very few people can tell that there was even an addition in most of our designs. Those are based on how we can thoughtfully add to the house, considering the additional layout. These are very expensive additions, first of all, to try and alter the entire interior to meet it's a difficult, these projects aren't easy. They're very difficult. They're difficult design, they're difficult to build. And I think it's gonna be this, and you've seen additions like that where they're cockeyed on the house, the roofs don't line up, the walls don't line up, and it doesn't cost any more to make this right, to make it look like it's all one home rather than something that's been slapped on the back of it. The hardship is the fact that this house was built too close to the property.
I have a question for you, Mr. Blaze. Is the chimney bump out absolutely necessary?
I think we can, I'll leave that to my client, but if it sets in more, it'll take up more space in the room if we push it in.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We did discuss that. The main problem we kind of had with it was that it would bump into, we lose, but the closet upstairs, I mean, again, it's not like it would really intrude into it and we'd lose a significant portion of the new closet. So it would be, very problematic in that regard. For that was one of the, because we did discuss that.
Was there discussion about moving? I think I asked you this at the other hearing, but moving the chimney, so because it's currently at the narrowest part for the setback. I think I asked you if you could move it to the east side of the house initially, but is it possible to move it to the north side of the house or something of that nature?
the north side would be where the porch is, correct?
Mhm.
So that wouldn't. I don't think that can't have a chimney with a porch.
My chimney comes through my porch.
Oh, it does?
Works just fine.
Okay.
I'm only saying, I'm not trying to be nasty.
No, no, no.
You can do it.
Like that's, there's gonna be doors to go outside there. I don't.
Yeah, it works, but.
Yeah,
What can I say?
It'd be next to the door going
Yeah,
outside.
it's just a chimney, bricks.
And that would reduce the request from 1.68 to 3.2. That's why I asked, which is a significant.
Or if you
difference.
just push it all in.
Yeah.
The chimney, if you push the chimney into.
Right, that's what.
Yeah.
Or do something, maybe.
Right.
Rethink it. If it's doable.
You can't put the chimney on the other side of the room because
that's the mudroom on the east side.
that's a different room, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's there.
And the stairs. Stair.
And then I'll just make that not in regards to the chimney in total, but this has been an ongoing thing for 5 months now. We're already 5 months behind schedule. It's spent thousands of extra dollars coming back to this meeting over and over again, which has been, a financial burden and just a time burden and get it all, but it's just then we have to redraw things. We've been approved by the architectural board. We'll have to go back to the architectural board, spend more money doing that. I mean, we're talking.
May I speak to that, please? May I speak to that?
Just, message city attorney.
So it's ultimately up to to you as the hearing officer, but we're not gonna have a back to forth this entire
No.
time. And so if you approve it, you're going to have to allow a rebuttal from the owner. We have heard we're not arguing facts here, right? That's not the
Right.
purpose
No,
of this.
no,
hearing.
we're actually doing
We're hearing
things.
public comment, we're hearing
Right.
people's comment. We're not even asking questions or answering questions of
No.
everybody. So
So what? We've already approved this.
Well, no, right
Why do-
now, the question in front of us is, do we allow Miss Finney to speak again?
Yeah.
What did the rest of the members of the board feel?
Well. I think we can go back and forth for days, to be candid with you. If there's a specific point,
There's one issue.
if there's one specific
All
point.
right, Miss Finney, you're
That
still,
Ms. Benny would like to make, I would say that would be reasonable, but I don't want to get into a
you're still under oath, and please make it brief.
And I'm sorry, I didn't understand this was Thomas Rule orders, and I messed up many times. I apologize. The fact that there's additional expenditures should not be on the list here.
and the board won't consider that.
Because
That's not.
That was addressed the first month then, so that it wouldn't stop.
We're not
and go
talking
further.
No,
All right.
and honestly, we don't make those decisions.
And I've had other architects that have looked at it.
That's,
Yeah.
your point's taken.
All right. Andrew, do you want to, or Mr. Blaze, do you need to respond to?
No, you raised the point.
I would like to make it, I did get some paperwork. I guess summarizing the neighbors' arguments. And I'm a little confused. It says that I was notified no later than 11/3.
We're not, the notification it's not an issue here. We had another hearing, and so we don't need to discuss that. It's not something this board's gonna consider.
And again, I don't think it enters into the waiver. Should.
And as an architect and member of the community, I do attempt and have attempted to speak with any neighbors and
Right.
have issues.
I don't question.
The way this is Ben Ellerman's design. I know it was I'm not sure if he's still listening.
He is.
But if he had anything to say. But I know he's very proud of his design, and I'm actually very proud of his tenants too. So, but if we were to concede to something, the simplest thing to concede to is that porch. I think everything else really messes with the design, and basically I think that's really the easiest thing we can conceive to bring that porch in 5 feet. And that's not a difficult thing to do.
So what is it
Instead
now?
of-
What is the proposal on the porch? How many feet?
It's right
See,
here.
if we were to concede to something, if we have to,
Yeah.
the porch, we could put a hip roof on it, we wouldn't have that
Right.
thing.
But the porch isn't an issue here, because the porch goes back. The porch would hypothetically be that same 3.2 feet on the way back, right?
Right.
Right.
But that's what the requested variance is, whether the porch
Yeah,
is there or
that's what
not.
it is on your
It's gonna be the
current drawing.
variance request.
And that's, okay,
Right.
Thank you.
based on your last statement.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah,
you-
we're just voting on the bump.
Well, we'll
Well,
have that, but we'll have that discussion.
Variance.
Yeah.
Is there anyone online or in the audience who would like to speak on this petition?
It hasn't spoken.
Okay,
There's not.
all right, I think we're ready. Are we ready to close public discussion and move to,
I am.
We need a motion.
if we have a motion to close the public session,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
May I just to kind of set the parameters for this? So, again, the discussion is purely on the addition and a hardship that's created by the code as the property is situated, right? And we've discussed this. We've had a hearing. There has been a vote. I will say that this board did find a hardship when we met last time. We should be mindful of a previous decision, as we're always mindful of previous decisions. However, you as the board are able to consider how this would affect neighboring properties. And so we now have additional evidence that we didn't have before, which is why this isn't an automatic decision, because you guys still have discretion here. So the decision is based off of, I know we've heard about drainage, we've heard about things like sight, line of sight, and those sorts of things that would be affected in the backyard. There's no issue with how far back the house is being built, right? That's not something you're deciding. What you're deciding is simply that setback. The request is 1.68 feet. I think the more specific request is 1.68 feet for that 6-foot stretch, and then 3.2 feet, which is also a variance that will be required for the remainder of that elevation.
so we could include in our motion 1.68 feet, but that the majority of the addition would be 3.2.
I think I would be even more specific than that, because if you're not, then it could
Okay,
be
so-
hypothetical. Again, variances run with the land and they are permanent, right? They can be abandoned, but if they're not abandoned, we can't dissolve them at some point in the future. So if
Can they reference those submitted plans?
no, I mean, are you writing something up that's going to reference we don't, we vote, and we've got a decision of the board, right? And it gets posted, filed as it's supposed to, but it doesn't include those plans in there, right? I mean, the whole file may, but the variance is specifically 1.68 feet.
So a motion could say 1.68 feet for the chimney bump out and 3.2 feet for the remainder of the.
Yeah, you could include, I think they put 6 feet in there
It's existing.
if you wanted to, right? I think being specific like that, I mean, not that I think Mr. Blaze is gonna go out there and redraw it, so it's 1.68 feet, but somebody in the future could hypothetically do that, and it would run that entire length of the wall, right? So they could knock it down.
Okay, so I believe that we need a motion on docket 2435 in order to start discussion. Do you want to make that motion? Because it's not just approval as written, it's a little different.
Are we talking about changing the motion?
No,
So-
first we want a motion regarding
Okay.
this.
The 1.68.
Well, you can construct that motion as you would like, right? Because we've talked about a couple of different things. Your motion could be anywhere from 1.68 to 1.68 with the caveats that we just discussed to straight 3.2, or you could even move to reject it, but we usually do it in the positive.
The motion is always in the positive.
I understand that. So I'm just saying that
We've
you
already
can,
got.
Right.
that the
So we
request,
don't have the motion.
Yeah, but
I'm saying the request is for 1.68 feet, but your motion doesn't have to be
The request.
identical to the request, right?
right.
We can also have multiple motions, but we have to do them one at a time.
Right.
So you understand.
I would like, Jennifer to start out with a motion, because Peter seemed to think you knew where you were.
Okay,
talking.
hold
And
on.
I can help with that language if you tell me
Thank you.
what you're trying to.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to approve.
Docket 24.
Yeah, docket
30.
24,
you.
35.
What you said. For the approval of the requested setback of 3.2 feet to align with the existing structure, allowing a 1.68 feet setback for the chimney only. Did I catch it?
So that's what we're talking.
Okay.
Good job.
Do we have a
Got it.
second?
I second that.
Okay. All right, would someone like to start discussion, Tom?
Well, I'll just go back to the previous meeting. We discussed this certain months ago. When we ruled in favor of the original motion. Talked about these houses that we look at, that built within the setback. I think we probably said, if I remember right, that was a peculiar, unique circumstance.
The location of the house.
The location of the house in the variance, in
On the lot.
in the side yard setback.
Yes, that's my recollection as well.
And I think my memory is that was the core basis for what I remember. It's
I
been
think
quite,
so, yeah.
it's been quite a while ago.
November.
Yeah,
So the hardship is the location of the house on the lot,
mhm.
not the size of the lot. Size of the lot, same as if there's no hardship there.
Well, I mean, 50 feet is pretty narrow.
It may be, but
To
everybody
build-
else has the same hardship that lives next to it. So my point is that's not a hardship, and as far as I'm concerned on that block. What is a hardship is where you position that house on that block. I mean, you can go right down there and they're all the same.
In 19.
So the bottom line is it's the position of the house as built on that lot, which is nothing to do with. And this is way years ago. And there to me is the hardship is where it was originally placed.
Right.
I would agree.
I just have a question to approve the motion. What does the vote require? How many votes?
Yeah, so
For
yes,
for
statutory requirement requires 4. It doesn't matter how many people are voting, it requires 4 to pass.
Though the board's never bigger than 5, so.
Okay.
But that's the core fact. Those are the facts that we are looking at. Or I just might ask this, I mean, this is a sidebar, but are the lots on this street, are they all 50 feet? Do we know, or? Many.
They all look very.
50 by 150 is the standard for
Is
the,
that saying, that's what I was searching for, so that is staying, okay, so
Double
just a few, yeah.
It doesn't take a.
lot and a half, but
this isn't unique.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Hold on.
I need one at a time.
Yeah, court reporter needs to have a clean record.
Looks like 853 is a little bit bigger, but 849, 847,
They're all the same.
they're all the same size.
Yeah. But we still come back to the circumstances of the house being in side yard setback.
Right.
In the side setback.
Right, it's built there.
are we ready for the question?
Well-
Randy?
I suppose I still struggle with the smaller setback for the chimney. And I still do not understand why they can't be somehow rectified. I mean, I understand continuing down the property line, continuing down the line of the house. I consider that. But I don't think that matching the bump out that was added on to a dining room is part of the property. I don't see it that way.
Is the,
I see it, yeah, they're trying to match a
yeah.
the bump out that comes out of the dining room. And what I'm submitting is that, to me, the main line of the house is where it should be talking about.
Is the chimney an integral part of the addition? I mean,
Well, I will tell you that I know we asked that question, is it necessary, all of that. The necessary isn't really the standard we use there,
Okay.
right? I mean, it's whether the application of the code creates a hardship, right? So
So,
May I ask a question of the architect?
no,
No.
because we really closed
Close that.
close that door. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
and again, I may be arguing something that's not
Are
critical.
you wanting to make a?
Do you want to change the motion, Randy? Is that what?
we're gonna handle a motion first and then. if
No,
there
I think
needs
we need to
be a-
either vote this one and then we can make it.
Right.
Oh, no, you're.
Okay.
No, I mean, we can modify the motion, can't?
You could technically modify the motion if you wanted to, yeah. Typically, you move forward, no, it could be.
Vote it down.
Typically, you move forward because there is a motion and then we can always make another motion.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And that's the only sole concern that I still struggle with. I understand continuing down the line of the house. I do. And I mean, the fact that you want the mudroom where you want it isn't a hardship. The fact that you want it the way you drew it is not a hardship. Okay.
We're not voting on the inside.
No,
of the
I understand
house.
that. What I'm saying is that I'm
Okay.
looking for hardships to maybe suggest how one might think
We have a
about it.
motion before the board that would allow the majority of the addition to be 3.2 feet and the chimney bump out to be 1.68. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Yes.
We should be on record.
We should pull the board.
Upward.
Yes, we do. need-
Yeah. Okay, Conrad Hebron,
Aye.
Randy Sprague.
Aye.
Jennifer Gates. Debbie Stahlberg.
Aye.
Thomas Walls. Aye.
Passes 5-0.
It's been, your variance has been approved. Please see city staff during regular business hours for your next step. Thank you very
It's
much.
approved, something that they lied during the last hearing. They lied during the last hearing and there's proof when you listen to it. And he's a bully. So
No.
whatever reason you gave to rewarding that behavior, I don't understand.
Do we
And-
have any other
That's not-
business this
we can
evening,
do.
John?
No, we did not.
We do not need to talk about our budget because we have no budget.
I went into the city clerk and she said, oh, don't worry about those guys, they're fine.
We've never done that before. So
Well,
we've never talked about budget.
Yeah, well, I am with the other boards and commissions, so it's.
the thing I would, Municipal League used to have.
Yeah.
No, we have not closed the meeting.
No.
That's a small.
We'll be closing the meeting.
Union League used to have training for planning.
I
commission
throw mine
members
away.
and board
I just wanna keep it.
members. And I was just-
I usually have.
And there's a
This-
charge for
this was an
anything that does, but
I don't think the municipal league does it anymore, but there are trainings that I've done before and with the boom of WebEx and other, they actually have webinars
I
that you
just
can
thought-
attend. And so if you'd like, I can try to locate some of those.
I mean, it would be, you know,
And,
First time.
are we still? recording?
I know.
yes,
Yes, we're still recording. Okay.
and if we had.
Let's close it.
They could come out of our budget instead of the boards and commissions.
Do we have any other business before the board? If not, unless John lets us know, we'll have a meeting Thursday, March 12th.
We do have something on for that one, yes.
I'm sorry, which the date is the?
March 12th.
March 12th.
March 12th. That should be good.
And I'll see if I can get us in the big room this time.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.